itong nagko-COVID tayo, biglang lumabas yung Senate approval ng Alternative Learning System Act na ang author nito, pangunahin ay ang presenter natin ngayon. 我要介绍一下我们的 Senator 欢迎在我们的 webinar 在这里的 Arnold Jansen 跟上St. Jude Catholic School so we're happy 我们很高兴 to have our beloved Senator Sherwin Gatchalian tungkol sa ALS Act sa Senado. Magandang umaga po, Senator Win.
Magandang umaga, Father Jerome, and thank you very much for inviting me to this forum. At nakikita ko rin si ASEC Ambat. I want to greet ASEC Ambat dahil itong batas na ito is a close collaboration between DepEd, the team of ASEC Ambat. She was really hands-on from day one on formulating and giving us the finer details of the bill. And I also want to greet si Professor Arzadon, kasama rin natin. I can see her. She's also si Professor, it's not only ALS but many of the Committee on Education bills and resolutions. Si Professor kasama natin to give us an independent and expert advice on a lot of education matters. But again, Father, thank you very much for inviting me. And meron akong inihandang presentation, just to give context to the bill because marami sa ating mga local governments alam kung anong ALS. In fact, ALS is a very strong brand. When I was a mayor, ALS is one of our major programs in the city dahil nakita namin marami kaming out-of-school youth. Pero when I joined the Senate, ay nakita ko yung magnitude ng problema natin pagdating sa, hindi lang sa dropouts, kundi pagdating sa literacy, pagdating sa formal education. And ALS is the best tool to help our countrymen achieve some form of formal education. And at the end, if they get their A&E, pwede nilang ipagpatuloy yung kanilang pag-aaral at pwede nilang ipagpatuloy yung kanilang mga pangarap. So let me just share my presentation, Father, with your kind indulgence. Okay, we just yan. Okay. Oops. Let me just go to the from the beginning, Father. So just to give context to the bill, and this is again, this is in collaboration with ASEC Ambat and Professor Arzadon and the rest of the resource persons who contributed to give life to this bill. Sa ngayon, meron tayong 24 million Filipinos age 15 and above na hindi po nakatapos ng basic education. And about 2.4 million children age 5 to 14 who never finished any formal school. So that's about 26.4 million Filipinos who have been denied of basic education. Itong 26.4 million, hindi sila nakatapos in whatever form of formal education. And to put that in context, paano ba ito? That's almost 1/4 of our population. So 1/4 of our population have never finished any formal education. And with the advent of K-12 and also the 4Ps program, makikita ho natin, Father, na bumababa yung dropout rates natin sa elementary at yung participation rates or cohort survival rate natin sa elementary ay tumataas rin. But in a perfect setting, dapat 0 dropouts and ang cohort survival ay 100%. Ibig sabihin, lahat nagtatapos. But we don't live in a perfect world. In fact, if you look at our high school level, mas mataas ang dropout rates natin at 3.8%. And ang cohort survival natin ay mas mababa. So meaning ang elementary students natin at high school students hindi sila natatapos, hindi lahat natatapos ng kanilang pag-aaral. And there are various reasons for that, no? And if you look at the PSA survey, makikita natin na marami ay nagda-drop out sila dahil maaga nag-aasawa, iba maaga nagkakaroon ng pamilya. Teenage pregnancies in our country is a real and present problem. At marami tayong mga high school students nagda-drop out because maagang nabubuntis. Iba nagtatrabaho ka agad. Iba walang interest. But ako, I connect this lack of personal interest to economic problems, meaning because of cost of education, some of them do not have any interest in pursuing their schooling. And then, if you look at the past history of our ALS father, in 2018, we had 804,000 enrollees. So if you put this in perspective, kung ang eligible for ALS is about 26 million, only 840,000 lang ang nag-aral ng ALS natin, no? Of course, ang layo na, no? This is not even 1% of the total. And if you look at the completers, bumababa ang bilang ng completers. At if you look at the passers, bumababa rin yung bilang ng passers natin. So, in percentage, only 63% of those who enrolled actually complete the ALS program, and only 21% of those who enrolled actually passed. No? So, other than challenge na magpa-enroll tayo sa ALS, challenge pa rin, mas malaking challenge pa yung pumapasa ng ALS program natin. But ALS program is a very effective program. And in a World Bank study, World Bank conducted a very thorough study of our ALS program. Makikita natin dito, no, in this slide, 57% of those who passed the A&E go to some form of schooling, whether college, whether tech-voc, or whether high school. As opposed to kung hindi sila pumapasa, no, only 30% pursue schooling. In terms of employment, 71% pursue some form of employment pag pumasa sila ng A&E. And kung hindi sila pumasa, only 57% pursue some form of employment. So makikita natin yung multiplier effect and value formation or value creation ng ALS program pag pumasa ho sila. So the challenge here, Father, pumasa sila. It's not enough for them to enroll. It's not enough for them to complete. It's important for them to pass the A&E exam. And malaki talaga ang challenge. No? The one reason why we pursued the institutionalization of the ALS program, dahil makikita natin kung ang universe natin is 26 million, lumalabas, kung ito ang mag-enroll, lumalabas 2,768 learner per one teacher. No? Sa ngayon pa lang, it's a challenge na. No? With the present enrollment, that's 88 learner per teacher. So this is a big challenge to the program because obviously we need to boost the number of qualified ALS teachers or qualified ALS instructors. And the challenge is always related to the budget. No? Right now, the ALS program is receiving almost $500 million in budget. And even though it's receiving $500 million in budget, it's not enough in terms of hiring teachers. Again, in a World Bank study, right now the allowance being provided by DepEd is this much, almost 750 million plus the other incidental budget that is being given to the ALS program. At lumalabas ito po, on your right, is the true cost, or the actual cost. Tawag ko dito, this is the true cost of delivering the ALS program. Makikita natin mas malaki yan sa binibigay ng gobyerno. And this is, actually this is true because a lot of our private institutions like yourselves and actually our teachers, they use their own money to plug in the gaps to deliver quality ALS programs. And if you look at we look at the lack of facilities, no? And in a perfect setting, sana one municipality meron tayong isang learning center, community learning center. And to do that, you will have to fork out. Government needs to allocate about 7.2 billion pesos in order to have at least one community learning center per LGU. So looking at the history of ALS, Father, makikita natin it's not, again, no, it's a new program in 1987. Through an executive order, it was renamed. It was renamed the old Bureau of Continuing Education as the Bureau of Non-Formal Education. As the years go by, no, in 2004, 2015, and 2019, makikita natin that the ALS program na ping-pong siya sa iba-ibang bureau, no, at na-rename siya sa iba-ibang pangalan. And in the most current DepEd order, no, February 18 of 2019, it was relegated to a task force, no, the creation of an alternative learning system task force. A task force has ang ibig sabihin ng task force, it's temporary in nature, no? And it's sending a message that the ALS program seems to be a temporary program, no? Which, in my view, gives it a sense of instability and a sense of uncertainty. And again, we don't live in a perfect world. We will always have dropouts. We will always have people who will leave the formal learning system and go into work, start their own family, but they would like to probably go back at one point in time to schooling. And we have to make sure that we have the mechanism for them to come back and learn and increase their value or increase their learning in order to pursue other things. So, Father, I'm here you gave me a task, which is to discuss the salient points of the bill, but I will just breeze through this, Father, because Asek Ambat is the most appropriate person to discuss the detail of this bill, but I will breeze through it so that you'll have a good grasp and a snapshot of what the bill is all about. Basically, the bill is to provide adequate, timely, and quality attention and support to basic learning needs of out-of-school youth, adults, and children in special extreme cases. So ito po yung pinaka heart and soul nito, no, Father, is to give timely and quality attention to out-of-school youth, adults, because the 26 million contains adults also, and children in special extreme cases. Now, these are children, vulnerable children, children in far-flung areas, children in very difficult conditions. And it's a parallel learning system that provides a viable alternative to the existing formal education instruction. So it's not intended to replace formal education, but it's meant to give parallel learning system so that the learners will also experience almost the same competencies and learnings as the formal education system is delivering. So these are the salient points, Father. No? The creation of a alternative, the bill creates the Bureau of Alternative Education. This will be the home of the alternative learning system. And the BAE, the Bureau of Alternative Learning System, will be in charge of creating a program for alternative learning system. It will be the point person or the point agency that will coordinate with various different agencies and make sure that the alternative learning system is being cascaded all the way down to our communities. Another feature of the bill is the expansion of the program. We will hire more teachers, and the ALS teachers will also be trained. DepEd will develop a training program for ALS teachers. But another very important feature, Father, is the CHED. No? CHED will be tasked to standardize and formalize an ALS curriculum. We want to strengthen the delivery of ALS at the pre-service level. So we tasked CHED to come up with a curriculum so that at the pre-service level, our teachers will be trained also in delivering effective ALS, an effective ALS education system. So that hindi lang po kahit sino kukunin ho natin na magtuturo, kundi CHED itself at the pre-service level will already develop that curriculum. And our teachers will be trained at that level so that when they go out to the field, they have enough knowledge to deliver effectively the ALS program. And of course, another feature is the Community Learning Center. We will have to, the bill calls for the creation of at least one community learning center per LGU. Importante po in the bill is the consultation and coordination with the private sector, and this is a feature that our private sector included in the bill, and the set of standards, the qualification of teachers will be formulated together, with the private sector. So the relationship and the strengthening with the private sector is mandatory in this bill. So hindi lang po CHED ang magde-deliver, but we will tap into the expertise and the social concern of our private sector to deliver the ALS program. In fact, in our hearing, we found out that a lot of the private sector have better performance in terms of outcomes in the delivery of the ALS program. So we want to tap into that competency and that strength so that the outcomes will be much greater. And of course, the partnership with LGU is also very important. So in the bill, we tightened the partnership with the LGUs. We will now be able to tap into the special education fund of the LGUs to launch localized ALS program. And these are the other features, Father. Mandatory annual review and impact assessment of the program. So we will have a periodic review on where we are in terms of delivering the ALS program. Bawal po mag-collect ang DepEd dito po sa mga ALS program ho natin. And those who want to donate, if I know a lot of private corporations are donating to expand some of the LGU's ALS program, they'll be exempted from donors tax. And another feature is additional transportation and teaching allowances to our ALS teachers. Right now, they're entitled to a special hardship allowance, but because of their category, or they are not allowed to get transportation and teaching allowances. Pero alam naman natin, sila pa yung nasa field, sila pa yung mga nasa labas. So this is a request of our ALS teachers to at least benefit from the transportation and the teaching aid allowance that DepEd is giving. So that's in a nutshell, Father, is the salient features of the bill, and I've laid out some of the statistics that is important for fighting for this bill. We have to make sure that our legislators understand the context and understand the urgency of this bill. So we gathered, we first laid down the statistics, we first laid down data so that the absorption and the appreciation of the ALS program will be much greater. So thank you, Father. Thank you for inviting me.